winning, can't nobody hold it. Can't nobody. We winning, yeah. We winning, yeah. We winning, can't nobody hold me, yeah. Winning, we winning, yeah.
Nas.
Yeah, man.
Nas and Will Smith have teamed up to invest $22 million in an app called Step. Now, according to the Business Wire, Nas and Will Smith are among 11 people in a funding found for a finance-based app tailored for teenagers. Now, Steps is an all-in-one banking solution that combines basic features and uses checking, savings, credit, or debit cards into one bank account that is pretty easy to use. Its simplistic user experience is tailored specifically for young adults. Now, Step co-founder and CEO CJ MacDonald expressed to Business Wire that the easy use is a part of the strategy for educating their young users about financial literacy. Once again, Nas, Will Smith, as well as 9 other people have invested in this app. Sam, man, your thoughts on this one?
Man, inspiring, man. And this is why it's inspiring in 2019, because when you look at a Will Smith and what he's done and the Nas and what he's done, and because of the age we're in, can team up and do something that's going to be impactful and meaningful for the younger generation, is something that inspires us to just do more. And people are going to see this, and just off of mere perception of the names alone, the right people are going to be inspired just to do more. Now let's talk about what they're actually doing. Something that should be done in school early on, given curriculum and given step-by-step blueprints on how to properly have, make, and secure, and then multiply money and understanding the lingo and the knowledge. It makes me sick when I go back to thinking about what we learned about in grade school and the nonsense, and then it follows up to what my child and my children are learning in school now. It's like, man, you set us up for failure. And not to get on the generation before us, our parents and things like that, but the support system, it has to be locked in, loaded today, like no other, because a lot of these kids are different. They walk different, they talk different, their music's different, their hair is different, this and that are different. And if that disconnect is there, you can have a kid go all the way there. That support system has to be locked in like no other. So when you have an app and you got 2 people inspiring, combined by that positive push, it's going to get them to this app where they're on their phone anyway. And then maybe they can learn something, because go to college, get a degree. We got to get off of that narrative. Just some. It's going to be for some, but for a lot, for 90% of the kids coming out of high school hearing that shit, they're going to leave college with real financial debt and no real answer to get out of it. Something like this early on in high school, 8th grade, 7th grade, when they got the phones early on anyway, can be a great step in kind of getting them the knowledge they need to not find themselves in debt early on like we did.
Yeah, man, I think it's this is huge right here. I love to see, and one thing I got to say about Nas, for one, we know that anything he's been invested in has been gold.
He's been doing a lot
at this point. So him and Will Smith, as well as these other investors, I see this as being something real, super positive, for young children. I think you hit on some great points where you talked about, not only the fact that what we kind of learned, and what I will say is I think that probably in school that we should have probably had stuff more focused on what we're actually going to be dealing with in life. Not the Christopher Columbus and this stuff that we learn, but your credit, your score, how your credit score is impacted, what different things lower your credit score, what you should do to build your credit, how to budget, your checkbook, things like that. Learning about, like you said, debt and why not to get in debt. What debt is good debt, what's bad debt. So, some people do teach it. Obviously, you got to get homeschool, and in some private schools you can find it, but the public school system, I think, is something that is lacking. But now with the technology, everybody has a phone, so everything now is an app, no matter what you do. So I think this is going to be a golden, thing right now, almost like a tutor, maybe not, something. It's just on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? As far as what I think could be done with the children. So
you're gonna have to have
brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. Not to cut you off. Oh, you're gonna have somebody there to kind of seal the deal. You're going to have the app, but they may need some help. They may need some coaching. And that's where that support system has to come in, and where you're going to have to get financially literate. And what pissed me off is, it's like, once you start learning about it, it's interesting. It would have been something that I wanted to learn about. And as opposed to listening to this shit that had my mind going in 75 different directions. On top of the fact that if I came home and presented it and then got some confirmation and got some schooling and got some real life situations to tie the two in, the value that would kind of bring, the value that it would bring going into high school. Like, nah, why would I? Because once your brain start developing, I would have questioned, why the fuck do I really even need a job? Let me start doing this and flipping this and doing this and doing it. It just creates wholly different conversations.
You look how long it take you to get to a point in life, or you would have started maybe 10 years earlier, honing different skills, you'll be, you know, ahead of the game and a millionaire faster.
I tell my son all the time, man, you need to start a business. I told him last year, you need to go to Five Below. Let's go buy $50 worth of candy, bag it up, flip it.
Yeah,
do this, do that. He's not on it all the way. He's like in his sports and his video games and he's into the girls and all that shit now. But I'm locking it in. I'm in his brain now. So once it's in there, he'll remember all that I told him. And he'll be on the right path, man. And then on top of the fact that he watches us do it.
Yeah. So that's a lot. Natural. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. So that's real, you know, dope. And one thing that we can always hope is that, you know, that more of us take the entrepreneurship journey, I should say, in life, as opposed to going and just locking down, you know, a gig, helping another entrepreneur build his dreams.
It's much more fulfilling.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, you tune into the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast with your brother Old God and Sam, man. If you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Play and you're enjoying the content, please do not hesitate to go ahead and give us a 5-star rating, or however you feel, you know, just measure us up to however you feel about the content, man. Be honest about it. But yeah, Sam, man, TK Kirkland, this one's crazy.
Uncle Kirkland, man. Uncle TK, man. Yeah. Brother to the show, kind of. But
when he feels like
it, man. But that's our guy, man. Nonetheless, he was on his IG. I'm scrolling through IG looking for some news, as I always do, coming here for the podcast. And I seen something that struck my chord. Now I seen Bobby V in his timeline. And I see me, him, and my daughter. And it starts with hashtag my brother's keeper. And I automatically immediately get word. I'm like, damn, Bobby, not again. But nah, it wasn't what I thought. Yo, if you know Bobby V, tell him to be careful of the woman with the wig on. That scared me even more. She's a liar and a thief and a fraud. She stole money from my daughters and she's writing bad checks all over Vegas. And he asked Bobby Valentino. Now, normally I would mind my business, but when she stole thousands from my kids, I will not be quiet. Hashtag fuck this B. Her name is, which you guys can see down there. We won't repeat it on the podcast. Then he dropped this. He said, this woman who stole from my kids lie about her mom dying of cancer. And then she was dying. He ain't put any periods, anything in there. Drops her name again. I want everyone to screenshot this pic so you know who she is. She just reported the last pic I had with her and Bobby V. So do it fast before she strikes again. Peace. She stole from my kids. Now, usually we wouldn't do things like this, but this is our brother right here. And this was interesting to me coming from TK Kirkland. What you think about this, man?
I don't know, man. It
obviously struck a chord.
Yeah. To see, you know, somebody, you know, just put it all out there like that is a whole different thing. But I wouldn't expect it from a guy like T. But obviously, you know, when somebody mess with your kids, your children, they start taking money. Now he's saying something about cancer. Her mom's supposed to be dying, and she was supposed to be dying. So I'm guessing maybe she was trying to collect some type of bread, and they found out. I mean, I don't know. We just all alleged at this point. I don't want to speak, you know, anything wrong, but you know, I think everybody, you know, T's our guy, whatever. Even though he stood us up a couple of times and whatnot on the platform, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, I really can't call this one, man. I don't know. I think it's just, you know, crazy.
Oh God, we got to play devil's advocate. This is what we do on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. We got to. And although TK's our man, we would ask him this on our face, or to his face. Because a lot of people that see that, even though it might be taken down,
right? First
off, proof, and a lot of people are going to be very upset at you for dropping this and call a spade, giving you pass. Now, although you're an OG and you've grown from a lot of your past, you've been very vocal about your past. So for you to drop this on IG and to be so pissed off about it, are you ready for the backlash that's about to come? Because you know how ruthless they are, and they're ready to call you a thief all day long.
Oh, yeah.
Is that fair to even bring up, though, oh God, in your opinion?
Well,
given the fact that he went to IG with it.
I mean, a lot of people would say that. A lot of people would say, well, you know, wasn't you, you know, doing your little thing back in the day, your numbers with the whole scam and shit back in the day or whatever. So a lot of people throw that word karma out there. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if it's, you know, the karma thing is real. People just throw it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Should he have done it behind the scenes, like I say, and get slaughtered for every time, God forbid, you do something in private nowadays? So he had just hit Bobby up like, yo, Bobby, I don't know who that is. That bitch stole from my daughter. She wild. Cancel her.